Yo, what's going on, guys? Crispy Flakes here. Welcome to Extra Crispy, my fellow glitzy gummy bears out there, man. No, that agent video, I guess I did find out after that it's Glizzy Gladiator, which I guess means you eat hot dogs. I didn't know that shit was a punishment, bro. I mean, I know it's a punishment to your body, cause I'm not gonna be lying, man. Like, I've been at my new house for about 7 days now, and I've had grilled hot dogs 6 out of the 7 days. Don't care, man. I got a damn grill now. I'm gonna use that bitch ass. Make a steak tonight, though, guys. But no, man. So for today's video, we got Colin Cowherd. I guess is gonna be revealing his top 5 NBA players of all time, and it looks like he's making a case for Kawhi Leonard.
Nobody's ever done a documentary on Wilt Chamberlain. Wilt Chamberlain's the greatest physical specimen in the history of the NBA.
Sign me up. I'll do it.
It's not even close. I'll give you a stat. Wilt's the only guy in the same season to lead the NBA in points and rebounds. And he did it 6 times.
Yeah, he's pretty fantastic.
Wilt Chamberlain 1 year decided in the 60s as a center. He was leading the NBA and everything. He's like...
So, guys, just so I have, like, your insight on this, why do you think it isn't that we consider Wilt the greatest player of all time? It probably has to be just because, like, the era he played in? I mean, because just from, like, a pure numbers standpoint, I know a lot of stuff wasn't recorded back then either. But that's got to be the only reason, right? Is because of the time he played, I guess, right?
Like, I'm going to lead the league in assists. This is the 60s. He's a center. He had 702 assists. He led the NBA.
He could have played any damn position.
He led the NBA 9 times as a physical specimen in minutes played. 1 year, he actually led the NBA in minutes played, and he averaged more minutes than games are long.
I saw that.
I'm not
overtime.
making that up. He played every minute of every game and then played overtime. His minute average was more than actual game time.
It's like playing Nerf ball, though.
There's never been anything like Wilt Chamberlain.
If you're going to dominate, you're going to play
There's
all the
nothing
time.
like him. Not Michael, not Russell, not Bird, not Matt. Nobody's close. Nothing close.
Well, no, I think one game Luke Kennard did grab the most rebounds out of shooting guards and had the most points out of shooting guards. So that's really the only comparison I can think of.
There's never been a 30 for 30 on him. And he was glamorous. And he was weird, and he was flaky, and he was amazing.
No flaky, man? Was he crispy?
I don't understand it.
Crispy
They're
and
doing
flaky?
stuff on guys who ride bicycles and do jumps. I don't get it. I've seen 18 of them are boxing. No Wilt, 30 for 30. Andre the Giant, I see wrestlers. No Wilt. The reason I bring this up is yesterday, Damian Lillard was talking, or a couple days ago, and one of the things he said, it was a Dan Patrick show, he was talking about who he would give to the MVP. And Damian Lillard said, listen, they're both great, but like in year 17, LeBron leads the league in assists. And I thought to myself, it's Wilt. Is that we always compare LeBron to Michael Jordan because they're the 2 best players ever, the GOAT. And I've said there is a Magic Johnson to LeBron where he makes everybody better. Like Michael didn't make everybody better.
Steve Nash
Magic
effect.
and LeBron make everybody better. The water boy, the assistant coach, the guy off the bench, everybody with Magic was better. You played with Magic, it was your best part of your career. But LeBron really is Wilt. LeBron is Wilt. He's the second greatest physical specimen ever.
I mean, yes, the fact that he's doing it, like, in this year is what the amazing part is. But from, like, a body standpoint, yes, LeBron obviously is, like, a freak of nature, like, athlete and stuff. But I don't see that Wilt comparison. Like, I do see more Magic Johnson. But Magic Johnson was the same way. Like, he was 6'9", had the most amazing passing abilities out there. So I still don't really see Wilt. I mean, if you look at, like, the biggest freak of nature in the NBA right now that just does amazing things, that, like, based off of, like, what they are physically, it's got to be Giannis, man. Like, to me, Giannis is that guy. It's just like they call him the Greek freak, just in my opinion.
LeBron did not have a single injury of note for 16 years.
Which is very impressive.
Leading the NBA in minutes. That's unheard of. It's just at this level of competition with the athletes today to not have injuries for 16 years makes no sense. And now in LeBron, in his 17th year with a new roster and a coach, says, I'm going to change positions. And
that's
be
what the greats
best
can
in
do.
The world at the thing we want our point guards to do. Ask yourself today, you're a general manager of an NBA team. Russell Westbrook's going to be a first ballot Hall of Famer. If I said LeBron or Westbrook's your point guard next 2 years, you'd take LeBron.
True.
And Westbrook's a first ballot Hall of Fame point guard. I mean, I may have my...
But LeBron's top 2 player of all time, so I don't really see the comparison. You know, it's like, yeah, Russell Westbrook's great, but LeBron is top 2.
Issues with him, But I'd vote
Of
him
course
into
you're
the
gonna
Hall
pick
of Fame.
LeBron.
I wouldn't even, it's over. I'd vote him now, today. If he quit today, I'd vote him in. This is amazing. LeBron has, what you're looking at here is, there's going to be several chapters of the LeBron book. He's great, the chosen one. One of them is, I always said the second chapter is, physically, it makes no sense. He was the fastest and the strongest player simultaneously in the NBA.
I mean, look at Tom Brady.
I mean, remember when he used to chase people
Health
down
is
and get
wealth.
those blocks from behind? He was a power forward.
Tayshaun did it first.
That's what.
He copied Tayshaun.
He's the only player in my life, LeBron James, the only player in my life can guard the center, can guard the point guard. I think one of the most amazing.
I mean, honestly, like, not to just toss a name out there, but I'm going to, like, Draymond Green. Like, there's not a part of me that doesn't think that Draymond Green cannot guard 1 through 5. That's just, like, one off the top of my head, I guess.
Things LeBron James ever did. He got into a playoff series. I think it was a second-round playoff series against Chicago. Derrick Rose was the MVP, and LeBron said, I'm going to guard him in the fourth quarter. And Derrick Rose was therefore atrocious. Derrick Rose literally evaporated. Michael Jordan struggled to guard little tiny quick Allen Iverson. LeBron's
Everybody
bigger
did.
than Michael, 35 pounds heavier, 3 inches taller, and said all guard small, explosive Derrick Rose, and completely shut him down.
Well, he ain't clamping AI, though.
We've never had that. That's never existed in the history.
Derrick Rose was also the youngest MVP, so, I mean, obviously getting MVP at that age is amazing, but at the same time, he didn't have, like, the other experiences that, a more veteran-primed Allen Iverson would have had.
Of the NBA. So, here's some of the funny Wilt stats. He's got the top 4 scoring averages of all time. Not Michael. Wilt's got all of them. He once averaged 50.5, 38, 44, and 37.
So why is he not considered the GOAT? From a
only
talent
NBA
standpoint.
player to lead in points and rebounds in the same year. He did it 6 times. Here's the other one. Wilt had a 100-point game. We know that. He had 5 70-point games. Wilt had 32 60-point games. Kobe's next. He had 6. Folks, there was no three-pointer then. How? It doesn't make any sense.
I mean, Wilt wasn't shooting threes
So
anyway.
when I look at LeBron, I see Wilt. And I think Damian Lillard really capsulizes what I thought. This is why I'd give LeBron the MVP. 17th year. If you're asking Giannis to play point guard, and he then leads the NBA in assists, LeBron's become a little bit of a victim of LeBron. And Jordan was like this too. Is that you start watching Jordan's documentary, and it's like, his bad games, he has 28. Like his flu game is a down game. Remember what Jerry Sloan said after the flu game? I didn't know he had the flu. He was the best player on the floor. I didn't know he had the flu.
Right, a down game as a superstar is like the best game for like a basic role player out there. But even like a down game, these superstars still put up great numbers. It's just the efficiency. It's like, okay, you might have 27 points, but it might be on like 9 for 30 shooting. I think that math actually checks out. Some free throws, 2 points, 3 points, you get to 27.
Flu. I mean, we look at the flu game, we're like, guys have flus all the time. Jordan was still the best player easily on the floor. I always tell the story. I saw Michael Jordan in Portland, his last game in Portland. And Portland was pretty good. They had Bonzi Wells. They had good players. He was the best player. I think he had like 35. Best player on the floor.
Man said
Michael
Bonzi
was
Wells.
Just limping to the
Used
end.
to like his name.
Kawhi Leonard is very unique. He doesn't talk. He's got no style. He's great. He's got no shoe deal. I mean, he literally chose the Clippers over the Lakers. He didn't get along with Popovich. They sent him to Canada. His laugh is weird. He's different.
Yep.
He's not like glamorous Michael Jordan or talkative verbal LeBron James or smile every time you saw him Magic Johnson. He's not like our stars.
He's the silent assassin.
He's much closer to John Stockton, who hated the media. But as of this morning, so I am really in on this thing. So as of this morning, there are he's starting to get into clubs that nobody else in the league is in. Now the NBA's got
okay. I thought you meant he was hanging out with James Harden. Okay, I was like, yo, is he like, man? You know what I'm saying?
13 guys a team, 30 teams, thousands of players in its history. And I have said, if Kawhi Leonard in 2.5, 3 months is holding up a trophy, is holding up the championship trophy, he's a top 10 player in the league all time.
Well, your old title says top 5. It says Kawhi become a top 5 player and Clippers wins the championship. So I need to see the list or hear it.
I'm going to say it today. He's a top 5 player.
Oh, there we go. Okay.
He's a top 5 player.
You got to name the rest then.
Here's why. You tell me it's championships. You tell me this is winning matters. Okay, winning matters. As of this morning, he's in this club. This is a very elite club. In the history of the NBA, you've been a finals winner and MVP with 2 different teams. Kareem, LeBron, and Kawhi. Now let's just talk about that for a second. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar is the greatest big man in the history of the league. He's the leading scorer in the history of the league. He created the shot that is without question the most unstoppable shot, the skyhook, in the history of the league. You couldn't block it.
I mean, Dirk Nowitzki, that fadeaway. No, they're both great.
Dirk's
fadeaway is hook shot of fadeaways.
First or second best player ever. The third is Kawhi Leonard. So I would say this is a fairly elite club. Think about how many great players there are. Michael Jordan's not in that list. Magic Johnson's not in that list. Larry Bird, Jerry West, Tim, all the great players. He wins this year, he's in that club.
Okay, but give us your top 5.
So here's another club, the super elite club, where you've been a finals MVP and a defensive player of the year. Not a lot of guys in the NBA are great defenders. There's about 5, 6, 7 guys every year in the league that are really good defenders.
Committed defenders.
Michael, Akeem, and Kawhi Leonard. So that's that club. So you dominate the finals. You're the best player in the biggest games. You're also the best defensive player in the year. That, by the way, wasn't that always the thing with Jordan? You needed a stop. You needed a shot. That was Michael. But we're not done. Now we're going to go to the VIP Elite GOAT Club, where you've been the best player in the finals, MVP, a defensive player of the year, and you've been an MVP in the All-Star game, which is the world's best basketball players, and you're the best one there. Michael and Kawhi. Bruh, how many more clubs you want? How many more clubs you got to be in?
This man just say, bro.
You notice who's in these clubs? The 10, 12 best. All the guys he's in the clubs with. Michael, Kareem, LeBron, Akeem. Those are all top 10, top 12 players. How many more clubs you want? Now, people get into this. Well, Nick Wright yesterday, it was very sad, yelled at me. He doesn't score enough points. Colin, the scoring.
I think he scores just fine.
Do you know where Kawhi Leonard ranks in NBA history in points? I'll answer it for you. You don't, because no one does, because the rankings only go through 250, and he ain't in the top 250.
You do realize his career's not over, right? Like, you're literally comparing Kawhi, who's I don't know how old Kawhi is right now, but the man's career is not even close to being over. So no, he's not going to be in the top 250 compared to players that are either at like the tail end, like Carmelo Anthony, or people that have already been retired. Like, that was the stupidest argument I've ever heard. And he's only said like 7 words, and it's already the stupidest argument I've ever heard in my entire life. Wow, congratulations.
Colin, I got 3 names for you. Wesley Matthews, Marvin Williams, and Jeff Teague. Those 3 all-time greats have all scored more points in their career than Kawhi.
They are also on like the last year of their damn career, so...
So scoring now is the barometer. Do you know the top 15 all-time scoring list in the NBA includes Elvin Hayes, Moses Malone, Dominique Wilkins, and Paul Pierce?
Sure.
So it's scoring now that matters.
They're all great players.
Melo is 17th. And nobody likes Melo. He's 17th. Think about that. There's about 15 guys a roster. Melo's 17th all time. So scoring is it?
Right, isn't I could be wrong, man. This is my basketball knowledge, guys. You all know how it is, man. Karl Malone, number 2 all time scoring, right? Am I wrong about that? Because you say that, it's like, well, does that make him the second greatest player? I don't think so, man. Does make him a top power forward. I still like Tim Duncan more, but that's just me.
Elvin Hayes. I apologize
just a bias
to the
towards
Elvin
the era.
Hayes fan club, but I don't think scoring's that big of a deal. I mean, you got to be able to score. So what I'm saying is, and he's 29 years old, meaning he's on a path to surpass Michael and LeBron. If he wins this year, he's going to have a 3rd title, 3rd team, 3rd finals MVP, all-star MVP, defensive player of the year. There's only one player in the history of the league that has more than 3 finals MVPs. There's only one. That's MJ. So he's going to have 3 of those. If he wins this year, he's one of the 5 best players in league history.
Give me the list.
MJ, LeBron,
okay, here we go. I don't know, man. Dude, we got 3 Lakers on there. Because the thing is, when it comes to, like, top 5 lists, I mean, Colin already kind of had the argument already where, you know, scoring isn't the only factor. Really, when it comes to, like, top 5 lists, and you talk about, like, the GOAT and everything, too, to some extent, not even just basketball matters. A lot of it is about personality, off-the-court stuff, just like your legacy left on the game. And that alone is like, you know, Kawhi Leonard's great, but even that first Finals MVP when he was on the San Antonio Spurs, like, yes, he was great. He was obviously the best player in the Finals and the big reason why they won it. But it's not like he was like a superstar quite at that time yet, you know? So, I mean, Iguodala's goddamn Finals MVP. They are important. And I understand, like, I'm not trying to take it away from Kawhi Leonard on that. I just, with all this being said, I just don't know if I can say top 5 of all time, man. That is a pristine list to be on. And there was a lot of greats. Yeah, Hakeem, you know, Larry Bird, Tim Duncan, man. You know, what do you guys think? I mean, I'm not like mad at the argument. Kawhi Leonard's freaking fantastic. But even just from like a longevity standpoint, but then again, you want to talk about Magic Johnson in that same same breath of fresh air. Nope, that wasn't it. I don't know, man.
Magic, Kareem, Kawhi. Those are the 5 best players ever. If he wins the title and is MVP, look at the clubs he's in.
I don't hate the take. I really don't hate it, if I'm being honest.
All these guys and Hakeem Olajuwon. Well, he's scoring. It's never been. We don't talk about Karl Malone on this show. We don't talk about Dirk and Elvin Hayes and Moses Malone. We don't talk Dominique Wilkins. We bash Melo. It ain't a scoring league.
Very true.
That's not what you tell me matters. You never said that matters.
It's all around.
What matters is you're the best player on the best team, and they go to you. Who, in your opinion today, if I said, who's the best get a bucket, get a stop guy in the NBA? And it's not LeBron. Now, Giannis may be the get a stop guy.
I would probably say Giannis.
And you could argue LeBron is the get a bucket guy. But I would argue the best get a stop and get a bucket guy in the league right now is Kawhi Leonard. That was MJ. That's
if he's
what
playing,
you tell me matters.
If he's
get
playing.
Get a bucket, get a stop. MJ. Folks, we're 3 months away. Top 5. What about Kobe? Kobe was never the get-a-stop guy in the NBA.
That's not true.
Kobe didn't have all those clubs. Kobe's not in those clubs. And Kobe had the best coach. Think about this.
Kobe had fantastic
if this
defense.
Cat wins with the Clippers.
Very underrated.
He'll have won Finals MVP, youngest ever with Popovich.
But here's the thing, though. Despite all that, has anybody ever considered Kawhi the best player in the NBA? Which I guess, okay. Maybe that I could actually see why it being a stupid argument because LeBron's in the NBA. But even, like, do people say he's, like, top 2? Because I hear a lot about, like, Curry and stuff, too, man. You know, Curry or Kevin Durant when he's healthy. Giannis, James Harden. I'm not saying Kawhi is worse than any or all those players, but I'm just saying, like, when people talk about, like, the top players, you rarely hear Kawhi's name as, like, a top 2.
In his rigid system.
And I don't know why. Then
he goes to Canada. Hell, Canada can't even win in hockey anymore. They haven't won a Stanley Cup since the early 90s. That's their sport. They can't even win in hockey.
Hockey's still going on.
He goes to Canada and wins. And then he's going to go to the Clippers, who have never gone to the conference finals and have been around forever. And you don't think he's a top 10? I'd put him right after Kareem.
Download the all.
Yeah, I said I don't hate the arguments here, man. It just kind of came off as weird. Because you just don't think Kawhi that way. But maybe we should, man. What do you all think? Let me know in the comment section below. Thanks for watching, and peace out, my friends.